Welcome into Training Camp Live, presented by Xfinity. It's day 9. The Houston Texans are back at work at the Houston Methodist Training Center after 3 days in full pads, 3 consecutive days. They are in shorts for what looks to be a little bit of a lighter practice on this Friday morning, Drew. Lots to get to in today's show. We've got giveaways for Monday's training camp practice. So if you are watching right now, drop us a comment in YouTube or on Twitter to say that you live in the Houston area and you want to come to practice. We're going to be giving out those tickets a little bit later in the show. We've got some famous faces at camp today, including one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, Simone Biles, who just returned from Tokyo. She's in the stands as well. And you know what? She's watching her boyfriend, Jonathan Owens, safety for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, she's been a Texans fan for a long time from this area. She's even participated as a Houston Texans cheerleader during a game for a day. So it's good to have Simone back. Welcome back. You were never gone. We're happy you're here, and it's going to be a fun show. Like you mentioned, DP, a little bit lighter action for the guys today because they got to save some legs. You know, after 3 straight days in the heat with the pads on, you got to kind of ramp them back a little bit. Tomorrow night is the next practice, so they're not going to be practicing again in 24 hours. You basically push it to 36 hours. So there's a little bit of a break inherently in that regard as far as the schedule goes. And then on Sunday, there's a day off. So you pull them back and you make it a little bit easier until you get going again on Monday. But yep, we're going to answer a few questions. We've got some fun here in this show with the microphone being on a head coach. And
Yes.
that head coach is David Culley, of course. But we're going to get to that a little bit later, DP.
Yeah, you see a live shot of the defensive lineman there on the practice field. And yesterday, the team was in full pads. They did a lot of work, 2-minute drills, some goal line drills. And it was a good day for the defense. Even head coach David Culley said he walked off the field. I think the practice ended with 2-minute drills. And there were a couple of picks. There were a couple of takeaways. Lovie Smith's defense continues that streak of taking the ball away. But a lot of great plays, a lot of passes defense. Of course, quarterbacks threw some touchdowns as well, but it was a really good day for the defense, an important day as they got to work in pads because you don't get to see these defensive linemen get to do their thing really until the full pads come on.
Yeah, Culley said when he went to the podium yesterday to meet with the media after practice, hey, if I was just a fan of the Texans offense today would not have been a good day. He said, but hey, this is a team game and the Texans defense showed up, did some good things. So offense looking to rebound and kind of get back in the end zone a little bit more than they did yesterday, as you see Blacklock, the rookie, doing a little bit of a dance as he talks with someone on staff there. But it's going to be fun to see what happens today, and we'll have a little bit more of that as we progress throughout this show. And like we said, we want to hear from you, so send us in your questions. We always love answering them. If we're not able to get to them today or in this show, I'll answer some on Dear Drew, so don't be shy. If you like it in the written form, I'm your guy, okay? Come let those questions be heard by someone, whether it's me, whether it's both of us, or someone else.
There's Bobby King, defensive line coach, who was linebackers coach last year. He's a sandwich in between Derek Rivers and Ross Blacklock. Number 95, Derek Rivers, he had a sack yesterday in those periods. So this defensive line group, I think, is one of the bigger questions to answer here in camp because there are so many talented bodies in that group, and I just don't know how they're going to make these roster cuts. I heard Nick Caserio on the radio this morning with John Harrison and Mark Vandermeer, and they were jokingly asking him, like, all right, so just give us your 53. Of course he didn't. But, you know, I think it's a great battle for these defensive linemen because a lot's asked of them. You've got linebackers that moved into defensive linemen. You've got guys that there might be some positional flexibility. We heard Lovie Smith talk about it the other day, 3 technique, 6 technique, where a guy's going to play on the line. Are they flexible? How much are they able to do? They got to evaluate all of this in practices these days. So as we watch the defensive linemen on the field, let's get to some of your questions. And thank you for all of you guys that are tuning in right now and listening. And remember, you can win tickets to Monday's training camp. So drop in your comments below YouTube and Twitter. So if you're not on YouTube or Twitter, get on YouTube and Twitter.
That's right. You know, I think Paco out there is either related to Garrett Wallow or a TCU Horned Frog.
Okay, why is that?
But he's asked about Garrett Wallow a few days in a row now, and we're happy to answer that question. He's looked good. The rookie linebacker from TCU has been solid, and he's going to need to be solid on defense and on special teams. But so far, so good for Garrett Wallow. You know, he's been doing what he needs to do. He's like all rookies. He shines at some moments, needs to kind of pick it up at other moments, but on the whole, A-OK right now, Paco, for Garrett Wallow.
Yeah, I know. I think there's a lot of interest in these rookies
and what
they're doing
naturally.
This year. So we have seen Garrett Wallow out there. I mean, he did a lot at TCU, right? Like he was lining up a little bit as a safety, as a linebacker. I think for him this year, it's just sort of getting down what the linebacker position needs to do, because I think in Lovie Smith's defense, the linebackers are asked to do a lot of things. They have to be physical. They have to have their eye on the ball. There's a lot that they're doing back there in the defense. So if he can get that down, I think it'll be a good rookie year for him. And there's Whitney Merciless, number 59. Whitney's like always smiling. He's talked about making that position change from linebacker to defensive lineman, and he said, the only difference is he's got his hand in the dirt, so sometimes it's harder to see. But
yeah, he talked about that a few days back. It's so different, because when he was standing up as a 3-4 linebacker, he could see everything, and he was able to react a little bit differently. It's a different type of reaction. And when he said that in that press conference afterwards, I was asking Seth Payne, who played defensive line in the NFL, I was like, what did you think when you heard that? He's like, yeah, it absolutely makes sense. It's not something you should be alarmed by when you hear that. It's actually just more a matter of reading things and picking things up. He's going to be just fine. So he kind of commiserated with what Whitney was saying, because Seth played even a little bit further in, closer to the center and the guard. So yeah, it's one of those things. And Benjamin wants to know, hey guys, how is Shaq Lawson doing? Shaq's like the rest of them. He's out there, doing what he needs to do, and he's been flashing from time to time. And he's somebody that the Texans kind of have high hopes, not kind of, but really have high hopes for after what's been done the last few years. He overlapped a little bit in Buffalo with David Culley, and Culley liked what he saw then, and he's liking what he's seeing now. That's what Culley said yesterday after practice. Well,
the two of them have experience, because Shaq Lawson was up in Buffalo around the same time that Culley was in Buffalo. Obviously, when he was traded to the Texans, he was with Miami. So there is a little bit of familiarity there, I think, which should help him. It seems like all these guys, you can sort of trace them back to either Culley or a position coach or another teammate that has played with him in the past. You've got a lot of guys with a lot of different experience. There he is right there, number 93, Shaq Lawson, who we were just talking about a little bit earlier. But a lot of these guys have had experience either with a certain position coach. I've talked to a number of offensive linemen that have worked with James Campen over the years. And, I think the same could be said for David Culley, because he was with the Chiefs. And an interesting story that Jonathan Owens told yesterday, we were talking about Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles, watching him at practice today. Obviously the two are dating, and he's so happy to see Simone Biles back. He was really rooting for her in the Olympics, and said he was really just sick to his stomach seeing her have to pull out of the competition. But he told a great story yesterday that not many of us knew.
This is wild. I didn't know it, no.
He used to clean rooms when he was a junior. He said it was the summer of 2016 at Western Missouri State. And that's where the Kansas City Chiefs would hold training camp practice. Well, David Culley was on staff there. He was a wide receivers coach there at the time. And he remembers cleaning David Culley's room. How
wild is that?
And he did it so he could stay on campus for free and train and work out for the summer. For football. But how humbling, I was just so impressed with that story, because he said it was a full circle moment. He wouldn't have changed anything about it. There was no embarrassment or shame in doing it. He said, I was just excited to be around NFL players and NFL coaches, because that was his dream one day. And it's so exciting to see him out there. And he's doing some good things in camp. David Culley said he brings a lot of energy. And last year he was on the practice squad. He was activated prior to week 5. So he saw some action in games last year, and he's certainly battling back there on special teams, which he brings a lot, and then in the safety position.
Yeah, and we're going to go to this Culley clip in just a moment, but it brings up it plays perfectly into what Evan was asking. He said, who's the surprise player showing up on each offense and defense? Owens is certainly one of those surprise players externally. We've heard some good things about him in the spring and May, and how he's really progressing and could be somebody to watch. I think on offense, Charlie Heck is one that's really been a big surprise, and it's the same thing. We heard about this in May and June. We're like, oh, and he's out there. He's getting starters reps at right tackle. So I would say Heck and Owens is a good answer to that, DP.
Yeah, and David Culley talked about it. The jump that Heck made from year 1 to year 2 was surprising, considering he wasn't starting on this O-line last year. But his pedigree, his dad is offensive line coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Heck. So he's got a naturally really good coach built in. So I think everything that they wanted to see him do to make that jump from year 1 to year 2, he's done. And it's been surprising to see how many reps he's been getting and how much they've been wanting to see what he's able to do. So keep an eye on Charlie Heck. I know we get asked about him a lot, and our answers are probably going to change over the course of a couple weeks as the guys are wearing pads and we see each day progress in full pads.
All right. With that, let's go to the mic'd up video of head coach David Culley.
Well, now I see why they moved you.
On the money, though.
On the money.
On the money.
He didn't have to move. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Warm up, here we go. Hey, 5. One thing that happened last time when we weren't getting in and out of the huddle quick enough. Get them in and out of the huddle, get them lined up. Get them lined up at the line of scrimmage. Yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah! My juice period. This is the period. This is the period. Yeah! Yes, left, right. Don't let him get in that chest now. Oh yeah, you don't let him get you, you get him. Love it. Yeah, it starts right here. Peripheral's a good thing. Oh, that's where to sit. That's where to work. That's where to work. That's where to work up front. Right there. Give it to him right there. That's it. Give it to him right now. As soon as you see it. There you go. That's where to work. That's where to work. Completions, completions, completions. Right there you go. LT, that's where to be there. That's it. Completions. Positive yardage. That's where to work up front. That's where to work over there. That's where to fly to the ball. Nice job, Zach. Nice job up front. That's where to work, Mary. Hey, that's where to work, Zach. That's where to work, fellas. Good communication here. Good. Set in there. Oh, yes. That's it, Cam. Good football position there, Jordan. Communicate, communicate. Communicate, communicate. Oh, yeah. Protect those gaps. There we go. There we go. That's the punt. Good coverage. There you go. Keep bringing it. Keep bringing it. Keep bringing it. Bring them up here real quick. Just hold it. Bring it up here real quick. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up here real quick. Hey, listen, man. That period we started down there, that two-spot team, that's how we're supposed to look. No pre-snap penalties. Everything was happening like it should happen. And it all started up front, which is where it always starts. Continue to do that. We're getting ready to go into 7-on-7. Man, 7-on-7 is an offensive period. It's an offensive period. I mean, I'm talking about completions in that period. Completions, completions, completions. When we get back to that team period, those next two team periods again, expect to see the same thing. But that's what an offense is supposed to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's a good job right there. That's a good job. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job. That's where to be there. Good football position. Stay up. Good work. Good work. Trust it. That's where to trust it. Good job, Nico. That's where to play big boy ball, Nico. There you go. All right, that's it. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Good day today. Everybody, we got a change right here. We got 5-minute post-practice right here. You rookies get with your coaches. You veterans do what you need to do on it. And then let's get out here. And then birthday guys got to break us down today. Birthday guys got to break us down today. No speech. That's right. You break us down and let's go. Let's get to work.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
David Culley mic'd up on Laramie Tunsil's birthday. They showed the huddle, but what happened after that was all the rookies had to sing happy birthday to Laramie Tunsil. But head coach David Culley bringing in the enthusiasm, bringing the juice every day to practice. It's been a lot of fun to sort of watch him lead this team as a first-year head coach. He just has the enthusiasm as a first-year head coach as well.
He loves it. You know, every day that fans are out there, and there are fans out there today, I interview Coach Culley just 2 or 3 questions before practice starts in front of the fans. He gets to talk to the fans, and he's excited. You know, because I have to walk from basically one side of the field over to the fan side of the field with him, and he's pumped up. He's excited to get after it. He's excited to do it in front of these fans. It means a lot to him after what went down last year. No fans anywhere, not just in Texans camp, but around the NFL. So he's pumped, and he's excited to do it. And shout out to the fans that aren't in the States. We got Daniel in Germany watching us, as well as Brody in England. Thank you, guys. It's great to be with you and great to have you with us.
All right, well, let's get to one more question. Brody wants to know, do you think the rookies might get significant starts? Brody, that's an excellent question, and David Culley was actually asked about this offseason, and his viewpoint on rookies starting is different than what we've seen in the past. He says that if a rookie goes out there and beats his competition in practice, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to start as a rookie. But of course, it depends on how well they do in camp, if they're able to play, do good things consistently. It's not enough to have a good day of practice and show some flashes. They have to show it, and they have to show it consistently. It's a lot to ask for of any player, especially a rookie. But if a rookie does all the right things, there's no reason why they couldn't start this year.
Yeah, they got clamped down last year. There were only 4 or 5 of them. You didn't see them much. They never started. but that could definitely change. He said, yes, it can definitely change this year. If they can make it work, they'll do it. So guys to keep an eye on in that regard who might start. You might see Nico Collins out at wide receiver. You might see Roy Lopez, the defensive lineman. Those are two that are kind of standing out initially. And, hey, we all know about the quarterback situation and what's going down, so at some point you might see Davis Mills down the line. So we'll see. But definitely, rookies will have a shot to start this year.
We definitely saw a little bit of Davis Mills trotting off the field. We'll see more of him today as practice gets underway. But before we go, special congratulations to Reggie on YouTube, our big winner, who won tickets to Texans training camp on Monday.
Reggie.
Thank you so much for watching. Reggie, listen very closely. You have to send us an email to texansdigital@houstontexans.com. So texansdigital@houstontexans.com. Send an email to us, and we hope to see you at camp on Monday. And if we didn't get to your questions, do not worry. Drew is going to work overtime here to answer all of your questions.
And Reggie, if you do come out to practice, make sure the day before, maybe 2 days before, start hydrating properly. Put on sunscreen and stuff an hour before you get out to practice, because you don't want to get sunburned and you don't want to get dehydrated. And bring your happy spirit and have a lot of fun, because there's all sorts of fun stuff to do in addition to just watching practice and being up close and personal with your favorite football team. It's going to be awesome.
I think you're underestimating Reggie, because he probably lives in the Houston area and he's probably very used to this.
I know, but it's like my mom still says it to me, and I'm from Houston, she's from Houston, but it can't hurt to say it again. I wasn't implying that Reggie was dumb.
No, I guess not. Drew's about to go put on his sunscreen from head to toe.
Already did. I slathered up. I put the 50 on. Went up from 30 this year. It's a little chalkier, so it gets on my shirt. If you see some of that, that's what that is.
It's important.
But, you got to stay safe. And I think we got a little bit of a surprise before we finish the show today, DP. So you want to answer one more question while we set this surprise up, because we've got a few, and there is one that says, are any training camp injuries are they going to roll over into the regular season? We've knock on glass.
Ooh.
We've not seen many injuries at all so far. You've seen guys that have not started practicing for whatever reason, namely Marcus Cannon and Lane Taylor, two offensive linemen that figured to be in the mix to start to compete for playing time. They're not out yet, but they might be out there soon, and they might wind up having a say in all that. But it's been pretty good injury-wise for the Texans thus far. So no, Juan, right now, nothing that I see that could roll over.
No, and I think the only significant time missed will be Bradley Roby, who's going to miss week 1, serving the end of his suspension from last year. He was asked about it yesterday. He said, well, they added an extra game, so I still get to play 16 games. His goal is to be healthy for the rest of the season. But so far, so good in training camp. Usually you see injuries at this time, and after 3 full days in pads, it is good news that the Texans have come out of that relatively healthy. So hopefully that continues. But so far, I agree with you, Drew. Other than Lane Taylor, Marcus Cannon, haven't really seen much.
Oh, man. Mother Nature, look at what she's done. She is unleashing the fury. There's a pretty serious rainstorm going on. So we're going to have to wrap this show up, because they've moved things off to the side. But before we do, Paco wants to know if he can walk laps around the stadium with me. Sorry, Paco. I can't let that happen. I wish I could, but you know how times are with COVID. And Derwin wants to know when Dear Drew is starting again. Started 2 days ago, Derwin. So send in those questions. We want to hear from you. I'll answer them after practice. It'll probably be around 3 or 4 when that goes up on the website. But send in your questions, and send in many, because I'll answer as many of them as I can. So that's going to do it, DP.
All right. Well, that was a surprise. I did not expect to see a torrential downpour outside at practice. As we're talking about sunscreen, it was just sunny a minute ago. But you know what? That's Houston weather for you. And Houston Texans training camp, of course, will continue to be underway tomorrow night, a night practice, a rare night practice. Be sure to check out HoustonTexans.com for all the coverage. It's going to do it for Texans Training Camp Live, presented by Xfinity. Special thanks to Tyler Marcotte, Caroline Jordan, Anab Leibowitz, Amanda Caffey, Alex Lozano, Jay McDevitt, Mitchell Moreland, Drew Doherty, and myself. On behalf of all of us, thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Texans.